Oh, no. Not him looking older than he's even claiming his age to be, though he claims to also look half of what his age is. And everyone's like, nah, dog, you look even older than the age that you claim to be. A Brazilian man by the username Juan Risoli has gone viral on TikTok for repeatedly claiming he's a 36-year-old model who looks like a teenager. Me when I lie. Me when I just decide to like make something up and pretend that it's fact. In nearly every video he's been posting for several years, Luan stares directly into the camera, smiling and bouncing around. The videos have an overlay that reads some iteration of 36-year-old model who looks like a 17-year-old. So, okay, he just posts his own TikTok. He posts his own TikToks with the overlay 36-year-old man who looks 17. He's just trying to manifest it for himself. Although he claims to be a professional model of Dutch, French, and Brazilian descent, viewers have struggled to find any legit. This is going to be Austin show. This is Brazilian Austin show. Austin show as he gets older and older. He's he is this. He is the quote from Matthew McConaughey in Dazed and Confused when he says, "That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age." But that's Austin towards himself, where he's like, I get older, but I stay the same age. Except actually Austin is gonna get older and he's just gonna put out TikToks. He'll be like 50 years old, be like 50-year-old Twitch streamer who looks 16. Furthermore, his physical appearance, including a bowl cut-like hairstyle with gray streaks, noticeable wrinkles, and a stocky frame, has fueled skepticism. I'm sorry, this is just so funny. It's so funny. The fueled skepticism. His gray hair and wrinkles has fueled skepticism that he looks 17. He appears significantly older than 36, and his short stature has also led some to question the model label entirely. Still, the TikTok creator continues to double down. In follow-up posts, he flaunts the same catchphrase while posing for the camera and running around in jean shorts as if to demonstrate how youthful he believes he looks in different lighting. You know, you got to do what you got to do. It is a tough world out here. Content creation is competitive. You got to find a way to stand out. You got to find your niche. You got to figure out, how am I going to cut through the noise? And the way I do that is to say I'm an age that I'm definitely not, but then on top of that, claim that I look half the age that I'm lying about being. And that's going to pop. Many users believe he's trolling for views and monetizing the attention. Some suggest the viral creator is leaning into absurdity on purpose to farm engagement and reactions. He's actually giga-brained. He's actually playing chess. And everyone else is playing checkers. His videos have racked up thousands of comments and reaction videos. You look 50 with a Backstreet Boys haircut. 30-year-old actress who looks like a 17-year-old. Okay. Okay. You guys, it is so embarrassing. Ms., thank you so much for the 40 months. It is so embarrassing when you go to do headshots as an adult, because inevitably one of the shots you'll do is the, here's my high school look. oh, let's do some young makeup on you. Put your hair in a side braid, put on a cool little jacket, and you can definitely play a teenager. Let's get you in a CW show. Yeah, let's get you on Disney Channel. Yeah, I'm 30 going on 15. You look like a cute generic sitcom girl. And what's funny is I think I took those photos when I was 25, maybe those headshots were from 24, 25. And even at that time I went, oh my God, what are we doing here? I mean, I get it where as big of an age range as you can play, it's an advantage, but still felt so embarrassing doing this look, the high school look. And now it's like I'm in my 30s. And they still, when I was kind of going back to doing some auditions this past year, the amount of auditions that I had where it was either 16 or like 50. I went, can we get something in the middle? Can I possibly, I don't know, can we find a happy medium? Is this it? Are these the options? Yeah, I also had an audition for a role once where they wanted me to play two characters. And one of the characters is the older version, and she's in her 50s. And then I was supposed to play the younger version too, who was a teenager. I went, I'm 33 years old. You want me to play somebody in their 50s and also somebody who's 15 years old. It's called range. Hello. They saw my range. Yeah. Someone half my age and then someone 2 decades older. No, it was not Yellow Jackets. I don't even remember what it was from or what it was for. Micah, thank you for the 29 months. Not to be mean, but that image is the most evil you've ever looked. Wait, here? This is the most evil I've ever looked? Is it giving we'll say, oh my God, I love that skirt. Where's it from? Oh, thanks. It was my mom's from the 80s. Cute, vintage. That is the ugliest effing skirt I have ever seen. Put her and Amanda the Adventure. Yeah, throw her and Amanda the Adventure. She's certainly capable of some psychologically fucked up shit. There is something sinister behind those eyes. A demon cheerleader on Buffy reboot. Ah, a dream. I would even be like, you know what? I'll be an extra on Buffy. Put me in the background, okay? Let me be like that. Let me be like that one extra from Doctor Strange. What is the one Marvel film with Benedict Cumberbatch where she's like, it's a courtroom scene. You know who I'm talking about. That legend, that icon. Put me in the background of an episode of the Buffy reboot. I'm like, Buffy is slaying some vampire. I'm like, in the back. You'd fit in the Stranger Things cast. I honestly, yes. Because there's something about those Stranger Things, some of those Stranger Things kids where maybe it's because the show took 10 years for 5 seasons. So you remember them as the kids, but then it's like, I only watched season 1. So seeing the season 5 promo, I'm like, oh my God. So much time has passed. Were you ever in the background of a huge movie? No, I never did. I never did background work, which is one. It used to be. I don't even know if that's really something people do anymore, but it used to be a way that actors would try and become eligible for SAG-AFTRA. Was like kind of pursuing the background route, because if they managed to get like a couple lines, sometimes that would happen, is they would just be like, hey, you in the fedora, here's 3 words. Have you heard anything about acting in vertical shorts?
I'm making a living as an actor right now, but the only thing I'm being cast in is vertical shorts produced by Chinese production companies. And they keep casting me as 3 different things. First, I keep getting cast as blue collar comedic relief characters. Like just some blue collar guy standing on the side of the drama like, get a load of these guys. The second thing I keep getting cast as are security officers and bodyguards. I don't know. In America, I do not read as bodyguard. But I guess in China,
If you're white in China, you can read as anything.
I'm a tough looking motherfucker. And then the last thing they keep casting me as is butlers. Like butlers to rich
That is
people.
so fucking funny.
So I say a lot of things like, of course, sir. Right away, ma'am. I'll have the car pull around immediately, sir.
Gracious, thank you for the 40 months. Flunky, thank you for the 36 months. Tara, thank you for the 24 months. Olivia, thank you for the 28 months. Oh my God, congratulations.
This new
Past your Dr. Gummy Bears. Everybody congratulate Dr. Gummy Bears. That's so exciting. We have a doctor. We have a doctor in our midst in the Quantarage. Congratulations to Gummy Bears. It's Dr. Gummy Bears. Man, this is funny, but also it just feels bleak. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm just imagining, people who Yale educated theater actors going, yep, I guess all the work I can get is background in vertical now. I guess that's all that's out there. Gotta go.
As the only thing I'm being cast in.
Gotta go hope that I can scrounge together some work in vertical shorts. It is what it is, though. It's like it's not as if the industry hasn't always been a place that most people, even when you book work, you book a TV spot, you book a film role, you still have to have other sources of income. The classic working as a server, a bartender. But I don't know. I think one thing that I've heard expressed, though, from a lot of people in the industry, a lot of my friends still who are working in the industry, is the pressure to have a digital presence. So it's not enough to just hope your talent and your perseverance and cobbling together work here and there is enough. It's like having a social media presence, making digital content, having to have an Instagram. I know some of my friends who they're so talented. They're just, somebody hire them, and they're out here trying to grow a following on Instagram. It's so many jobs. I'm a graphic designer. I hate it so fucking much. It really is. It does feel as if It feels as if in a lot of in the creative industries, you have to be a hyphenate. You have to do 10 different things. And then aside from that, you have like 10 different income sources. What does content mean, though? I mean, So one thing is that, say for actors, having a social media following will be an advantage. And this isn't new. I feel like this kind of started, I want to say around like before COVID is when I started to notice this was a thing. I mean, really, when I moved to LA, I kind of started to notice it was a thing, but it wasn't a thing like it's a thing now. And I think it was Maya Hawke who was talking about this when she was doing an interview and saying how producers and casting directors oftentimes will have a quota that they have to fill of the amount of followers that their cast has. So if you hire someone like Maya Hawke who doesn't have Instagram, she's Maya Hawke, so she doesn't have to have Instagram, then they need to hire somebody who has 4 million TikTok followers. It's all part of the marketing. Yeah. I've worked in casting. They literally just pull up people's IGs. It's crazy. Yes, I remember when I started to go on auditions where they would ask for your social media numbers. And I was like, because when I started streaming, I didn't have a social media presence. I had like 300 followers on Twitter, something, probably similar on Instagram. I was private. I didn't have a YouTube, hadn't even really been on YouTube that much, didn't have TikTok. What are the other things? Yeah. So when I started streaming 3 years ago, and this was something too that because I was in the entertainment industry, I'd already started to feel kind of the pressure of having social media, but I hadn't embraced it. So I wasn't really actively even pursuing social media growth before I started streaming. Yeah, I was just very much a normie. Very much a normie. But I remember how one of the reasons too that I started streaming was because I went, man, maybe if I can build a path for myself this way and I can become more of a public figure, I can have more name recognition, this could potentially be an advantage in trying to get my scripts made and my interests in the entertainment business. I thought to myself, I guess being a digital content creator could open some doors, because I saw it already starting to happen for Will, where things were changing as far as him kind of having power for the first time, him getting opportunities that he would never have gotten before. It didn't matter that it didn't matter that he's always been talented and hardworking. Chat, we have to keep her small or else she'll leave us for supporting role opposite Manny Jacinto. Don't pretend like that's not what we want. If that were to happen, that is a win for all of us. Me and Manny in what kind of, let's see. Put us in a rom-com. You know what? Put us in a rom-com. We'd want it until it's been 3 weeks with one stream and no gaming. It would be so funny because I imagine I'm like I'm off on some gorgeous location filming opposite of Manny Jacinto, and people are still like, oh, but no gaming. Oh, no gaming, Sag. Do you think she'll game again? Does that rom-com set need any chat moderation? Maybe. It's an interesting idea. Yeah, they're in French Polynesia filming Uh, it's a it's a safty rom-com starring me and Manny Jacinto. But what about gaming? Caroline filming White Lotus somewhere. Wait. Who did I just see that's being considered for White Lotus season 4? It wasn't Christine Baranski, was it? No. Who is it? It's Is it Baranski? Or what or no, it's Helena Bonham Carter. Which is really interesting. Oh, it's not even that she's being wait, is this confirmed? We are hearing that Helena Bonham Carter is in early talks for a starring role. It's unknown where things stand in the deal-making process, but sources say exclusive conversations are underway between both parties. I thought she died. I'm sorry. You thought Helena Bonham Carter was dead? Where'd you see that? On TikTok? Sunny Cosmic, thank you for the 15 months. Toxic Marina, thank you for the 14 months. Yeah, that was Jimmy Carter. Did you confuse Jimmy Carter with Helena Bonham Carter? Did you get the Carters confused? An easy mix up. Understandable. If a deal does make, the Oscar nominated star would be the first cast member in season 4 of the Emmy winning series. Season 4 will be set in France. I kind of feel the same way that this might have been leaked to kind of gauge early reaction to it. Sometimes this will happen. Sometimes an actor's name will be leaked as, ooh, they're being considered for this role. Kind of, yeah, putting feelers out. Why do I hear a buzzing sound? Beep, beep. Beep, boop. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, I think that's better. Elle Fanning for the Hunger Games, and it totally worked. Yeah, for sure. This is the power that we have. We the people. We the people can determine who's in White Lotus season 4. Is Farley okay? Yeah, I'll just kind of recap because I said at the beginning of stream, but Farley was in the emergency room for about 7 hours yesterday because he swallowed a turkey stick without chewing it, and so it got stuck in his esophagus and he had to have it removed. So he's okay. He has to eat soft food. We have to give him meds for 2 weeks. He's feeling sad. I think he's feeling a little self-conscious because they had to shave a spot around his paw in order to give him the anesthesia. So it was a traumatizing day yesterday. It was. But do you want me to bring him in? Should I go grab him? Should I go grab him from where he is? To show proof of life. Okay, I'll go get him. I'll go get the little boy. Only if he wants to. Oh, no, it's not up for his decision. No, he's fine. Oh, just real quick. Just real quickly, everyone wants to say hi. See, here's his. Here's the little man. Oh. He's making little like. I know his leg. His little leg. I was saying too that after he came back from camp and he was hanging out with all these big dogs, I think he kind of convinced himself that he was one of the big dogs. He said, you have to chew your treats. You're too tiny. You're too little. You got your underbite with your teefies. You can't be doing that stuff. No, we can't just be snatching treats. Can't be acting all tough. I know, he's trying to show the big dogs that he's one of them. You've been acting out a little bit. Some behavior from you that I think is a result of having spent 3 weeks with some dogs that are 10 times the size of you. He looks so emo. I know. I know. In his mind, though, he's thinking no regrets. I'd do it again. No, you won't. No, you won't. I know, he looks so scruffy. I had a lot of people calling me today to check in on Farley. He's got a lot of well-wishers. A lot of people who are very concerned. Very concerned. Your behavior is concerning people. I know. All right, I'll put you back. I'll bring you back. Here you go. Everyone say bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye to the TT boy. Oh, TT boy. He just looked at me like I was going to give him a treat. Farley, you want to come back? You want to come back and sit on Mama's lap? No, you're so tired. You're so sleepy. Farley Blob. He's real blobby right now. You real blobby. Come here. Okay. Okay. We are Farley Kwan. We carry the flame. Oh, shit. Why is this buzzing again? Test. Okay, let's look at Dick Van Dyke turning 100. So good news. Dick Van Dyke is not dead, but he did turn the big 100. Wait, according to Patton Oswalt, doesn't that mean that Dick Van Dyke can legally commit murder? Patton Oswalt's stand-up bit, that's one of my faves, where he's talking about who gets to celebrate a birthday, right? When you get to celebrate a birthday. And his rules of when you finally get into your 90s, and then if you can make it to 100, you can legally commit murder. Now, it has to be like with your hands, you know, because when he goes, if 100-year-old manages to overpower you, I'm sorry, but that's it.
I feel really good.
If they murder you with their physical power, although honestly, I think Dick Van Dyke could do it. I could see him still being able to throw hands, you know? No, it would be another adult. What if they kill a baby? God. Okay, that's dark. No, it's according to Patton Oswalt's rules. Here, I will pull up. We're not going to watch the whole bit because we've already watched it many times. But Patton Oswalt birthdays. Patton Oswalt's birthday bits.
He's spry. When you turn 95, you can legally.
Okay. Also, what is this picture? Why is it a picture of a sad cat? Is sitting in front of a birthday cake. He's spry. Legally. I mean, the crazy thing is we're already there without even having people who are 120. This is from 13 years ago. 13 years ago. Is he wrong? Would it be any worse than it is now? Dianne Feinstein was literally falling apart. They were wheeling her corpse around through the halls of Congress. I honestly think there's as far as the issue in the United States government of people being in power for too long, of trying to maintain this system that we're all so desperately wanting to be free of. I think the image of Dianne Feinstein being wheeled around, or like finding out that one representative who'd been missing for 4 months was in a nursing home. It's like, oh yeah, no, just another day in American politics. We've got a politician who's been MIA and then was found in a nursing home. Yeah, and fucking Dianne Feinstein's team trying to gaslight us all and be like, no, she's great. She's totally fine. Nothing to worry about here. Or Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell just freezing up at a press conference, falling down constantly. Yeah. Still somehow not dying, though. Anyway, so Dick Van Dyke is turning 100, which means that he has now reached the age that he can legally commit murder. And honestly, Dick, I got a couple names for you. If you need suggestions, if you're sourcing from the crowd, I do have some recommendations. If you need them. All right, so Dick Van Dyke reacts to his life in... Isn't that the truth about life? Dick Van Dyke is 100 years old. And people are like, what's the secret? He goes, I don't know. What'd you do right, Dick? He's like, beats me. I could live 100 more years and couldn't even tell you. Do you remember we watched the movie his grandson acted in and directed? It was the best movie we ever watched on stream. Wait, was it Titanic 666?
Sound the alarms.
No, it was Titanic 2. Hell yes. I totally forgot. Wait, I completely forgot this connection. That this was Dick Van Dyke's grandson. His this Nepo baby grandchild who funded and directed Titanic 2 and also starred in it. And we watched the entire thing. There was a second Titanic. Yes, newsflash. If you thought the story of Titanic ended because the ship sinks into, breaks in half and sinks deep, deep, deep into the Atlantic Ocean, do I have news for you? There are more Titanic films. Yeah, honestly, if you missed out on that era of when the era of when we watched all the Titanic movies out there, Titanic 666, Titanic 2, we were just eating it up. And they are all equally masterpieces. It's kind of amazing to me that people only talk about James Cameron's Titanic when they talk about, greatest films of all time, filmmaking accomplishments. We're always talking about James Cameron's Titanic. And it's like, hey, there are other Titanic films out there, equally cinematic masterpieces. I remember you didn't even believe that there was a Titanic 2 until we showed you. That was old me. That was me who was young and naive. And nowadays, you can tell me that anything exists and I'll go, yeah, what the hell? Sure. Of course. I don't question the existence of anything. I just go, yep. Why not? Duh. What, you thought that was going to shock me? Yeah, it's a very what the hell sure type of vibes over here. Can we watch Titanic 1 for movie night sometime? Wait, raise your hand if you raise your hand if you have seen either Titanic 2, Titanic 666, both, but you still have not seen the first Titanic. You have not seen Titanic. That might be one of the funniest fucking things that has resulted from being in this community. Oh yeah, Carolyn Kwan, she's really into film. She loves to do film class, loves to share her passion and her knowledge of film in the industry with the people who have formed this community. And what that means is that there are some of you in here who have never seen James Cameron's Titanic, but you sure as hell have seen Titanic 2, starring and directed by Dick Van Dyke's grandson. And you've also seen Titanic 666, which is as good as it sounds. That is incredible. Never change. Oh, I thought this was the Dick Van Dyke. I just started hitting play on that, thinking it was the Dick Van Dyke. A look back at his life. Was he in that? Maybe. Maybe he was an extra. Maybe his grandson was like, Grandpa, I need ya. Do they all have the same ending? Where you mean the Titanic sinks? Yes. Because if there's one thing about a movie that's got a ship called Titanic, spoilers, it's gonna sink. Sorry. One of the first sitcoms and one of the few sitcoms to be filmed in front of a live audience. So nowadays we associate the sitcom with being in front of a live audience, but back in the 60s when Dick Van Dyke Show premiered, that was not the norm. So it was it was game changing in that regard. Oh, he acted in stuff? I thought he just did the New Year's show. Dick Van Dyke? Yeah, he acted in stuff. Are older sitcoms like that available to stream anywhere? Well, let's see. Dick Van Dyke Show is on Amazon Prime. But see, that's the concern, though, is with a lot of this history that if we don't have physical copies and these streaming platforms decide, we don't need this show anymore, there it goes. And unless it's archived somewhere, unless it's preserved, it's nowhere to be found. Lost media. Yeah. No, I Love Lucy was actually a bigger show than Dick Van Dyke Show. It reached number 1. Dick Van Dyke Show was super beloved. The critics loved it. Audiences loved it. It had a lot of influence, but it was not it didn't reach the heights that I Love Lucy did. I Love Lucy was truly groundbreaking. Fun fact, Lucy's also responsible for getting Star Trek aired. Yeah, it just never reached the peak that... So Dick Van Dyke Show was, as I said, one of the few sitcoms to be in front of a live audience, but I Love Lucy pioneered the multicam sitcom format. So a lot of sitcoms to follow in the decades after I Love Lucy premiered were a result of the ground that was broken because of that show. Yeah. And it was a show that was remained popular for decades after it first premiered. That's gotta be such a weird, maybe when you're that age, it doesn't feel weird, but to be kind of the last alive of your generation, a lot of the actors that Dick Van Dyke came up with in this time period and who were his closest peers and just all the people that he was surrounded by being gone. And but Julie Andrews, Okay, well, first of all, Julie Andrews is immortal. Julie Andrews is immortal. She's also a decade younger than Dick Van Dyke.
Interview that I didn't think there was enough quality kids entertainment.
Julie Andrews has actually found the key to immortality that Brian Johnson so desperately wants in his shroom-filled, psychedelic, whatever the hell he's got going on over there. Doing shrooms, drinking plasma. He thinks he's on that path. But the truth is that one person has found it, and only one. This man was born in 1925.
Years. I was raised in a family with no money.
A decade that, as my sister exclaimed when she found out how old Will's father is, she went, "We studied that in school. That's crazy. The 1920s. We learned about that in history class." He is remarkably sharp and well thought for 100. He is remarkable. Just listening to him take this walk back through memory lane, looking at his life and his very, very long career. Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, Will's dad is very similar. Will's dad is 96, and he is still super sharp. He's still writing books, writing fiction. So he actually he enlisted for World War II to join the Air Forces to be a pilot, but he was underweight, and probably due to growing up in poverty. And he eventually was accepted as a radio announcer. So that's where his work as essentially, a radio DJ began, because he was being denied. He was denied enlistment multiple times due to the fact that he was underweight. So that was how he finally. That's why I'm scared of owning pets. I get so attached to them. Thought of them passing away is too much for me. Been through it once as a kid. I know. I mean, it is always that horrible inevitability, but it's the love. It's the love of your pets that just makes it all worth it, And you just got to try to give them the best life that you can. Yeah, so that was a big day yesterday. It was a big day yesterday, and now we're here today, and we're just gonna have a chill night. The two things that I want to do. Here's the two things that I want to do. I want to look at a little video compilation of Dick Van Dyke turning 100 years old. Finally, it's like somebody who's reached 100 who's not a war criminal piece of shit. And I'm like, yay, we can celebrate Dick Van Dyke turning 100. And I want to watch the Skarsgård on Skarsgård actors on actors, Skarsgård squared, Papa Skarsgård and Alex Skarsgård. And then we'll do some gaming. I was going to do my Charlotte thing tonight, but I think we're going to push that to another night. So we're just big chilling. We're big chilling. I was scared to be another Betty White situation. I know, I was in my title. I almost put just Dick Van Dyke. But then I went, oh my God, everyone's going to think he died. It also kind of the way that the tributes are pouring in, and the different news spots on Dick Van Dyke turning 100, it feels like he's died. It feels as if, Dick Van Dyke has passed away, and now we're remembering Dick Van Dyke's long career and life. But it is a living eulogy. Yes. So he is still alive. He's just turned 100. How old was Betty White? Betty White was 99, because she died right before she turned 100. Betty White died December 31st. And her birthday was January 17th. So just a couple weeks before her 100th birthday. Because I remember the lead up to Betty White turning 100. And then she went, nope. She was like, psych. Still gonna throw y'all for a loop if it's the last thing that I do. I got a couple surprises up my sleeve. She had the last laugh as everybody was gearing up for the big Betty White turns 100. She went, I don't think so. She said, you know what? 99 sounds better. Yeah, fuck you, I'm out. Considering he said he hoped he didn't make it today, I think he's going to live another 100 out of spite. What if Dick Van Dyke is what if you have, okay, you know what's so funny? You have Brian Johnson, weirdo billionaire who like drinks his son's blood and has convinced people that he's found he's found immortality, and in reality he just looks exactly his age and has an incredibly intensive he's just one of those like psychedelic tech billionaires who he's just on drugs. He's just doing drugs and is like, yes, I'm finding the key to immortality. It's like you just did a bunch of mushrooms. You have him, Brian Johnson, and then you've got Dick Van Dyke, who will probably be the first person to live to 200 years old. It's so funny too because Brian Johnson, I don't even know recently what that thing was, but essentially he announced that he has a girlfriend, and it's like, oh yeah, no, you're just another rich dude who's dating a younger woman, but trying to pretend as if you're doing things differently. You're not like the other girls. You're not like the other super rich men in their 50s or ever the fuck old he is, who's just dating a younger woman. Was he the one that tracked his son's boners? Yes. He was consuming his son's plasma, his teenage son's plasma. Yeah. This is, people who have too much money. People who have too much money. Okay, so I'm sorry, what? Yeah, Brian Johnson was drinking his son's blood and tracking his boners, all in the pursuit of perpetual youth, which he has not accomplished at all. People who try to try to gaslight us and go, look how young he looks. I'm like, honestly, he looks his age and he has a shit ton of money. It's like rich people can afford to look good because they have every resource in the world. And Brian Johnson, he looks middle-aged. I don't know what to tell you. This is not some, what was that movie with Alexis Bledel? Tuck Everlasting. Yeah, this ain't no Tuck Everlasting. This ain't no magical spring that offers you eternal life. Does he look like a bad wax figure? Yes, he looks like he belongs in Madame Tussauds. He has the same energy as this TikTok guy. A 36-year-old model who looks 17 goes viral. Who's saying that he looks 17? Is that him? Is that him saying I look 17? This is very much a how do you do, fellow kids vibe. He does not look 17. Okay, this is so shady. A self-proclaimed Brazilian model claims to be 36 years old and looks 17, but viewers think he's more likely to be in his mid-40s. Around his paw, and he's feeling very sensitive, I think. He's feeling insecure. He's been looking at it a lot and he's not feeling cute. He's not feeling cute. And then also because he had the tube down his throat yesterday, he just kept, when we brought him home, he just kept crying. I was like, I know. I promise you it will get better. But right now it's going to be an uncomfortable feeling because one, you had that thing lodged in your esophagus. And two, they had to put a scope. They had to put a scope inside you to take a look and then to get it out. Does he have the cone of shame? He doesn't have the cone of shame. He did not need the cone of shame. But yeah, so he's been sad. He's been sad, but I'm sure he's also like, you know what, worth it. He would do it again. And I told him, I said, this is a hard lesson to learn. You're gonna be okay. Mom and dad took care of you, but you can't be doing this stuff. Yeah, no regrets. I'm like, no, you should definitely have regrets. This is what we call a learning moment. Spent too much time with Kaya and seeing a big dog eat everything in one bite. I will say he's been a little different since he got back from summer camp. Just as far as his behavior, he's been a little more rebellious. He's kind of been acting in ways that he normally doesn't. Because usually with treats, especially if it's a stranger, he'll sit, he'll be very patient. And so the fact that he just, like I said, a piranha leapt into the air and snatched this turkey out of this woman's hand. He's part of a gang now. Yeah, he was gang initiated. He's like, what? This is how we act. Yeah, so he's had a couple, and this has nothing to do with Hannah and David are amazing. Like, they're so amazing. I genuinely think it was him hanging out with these big dogs. It was him hanging out with these big dogs for 3 weeks. He came back and I went, who do you think you are? Think you're a big dog? You think you're one of these? Think you're one of these big girls? Thought he could hang? Yeah. He's like, Mom, I got that dog in me. I said, no, you don't. You went to the emergency room for 7 hours. Kaya let him be bratty because she's too nice. Yeah, he definitely, I think, was probably a little seeing what he could get away with. So anyway, he's good though. He's good. Anybody who's concerned, he is all good. We got it taken care of. He has to eat soft food for 2 weeks, which he has not been liking either. That's the other thing that kind of sucks is whenever you switch your pet's food, you're supposed to kind of transition it. Otherwise, it can be hard in their tummies. He is not enjoying this food we're giving him because he keeps picking up chunks of it and then just putting it all over the carpet. When I came out this morning, there was just a trail. There was just a trail of his food on the carpet. And I went, let me guess, you're not enjoying this. You're leaving this on the carpet to send a message. Okay. So he has to do that. We have to give him 2 different meds a day. I know he's such a diva. He's such a diva, but he's a diva who he's lived a diva another day. It was really hard. I did mostly keep it together when we were at the ER, but there was one point that I finally just broke down because we were sitting there and I had a flashback to the last time I was at an animal hospital, and it was when we were saying goodbye to Oki. And so just being in the room with the lighting and sitting there just waiting to hear about Farley, and I just had a flashback to when we were saying goodbye to Oki. And then simultaneously, my old roommate who I lived with for the first couple years when I moved to Los Angeles, her dog, who she had gotten in high school, and we were friends in high school. So like I had known her dog since the day she brought her home. And Panda was like, when I got Farley, just when Farley was a puppy and him being around little Panda in our apartment. And my friend texted me and she's like, Panda is going to the Rainbow Bridge. And I went, no. My friend who lives in Australia now, she's like, Panda has been living with her parents. She's like, I was able to make it back in time to say bye. But like all of this was happening at once as I was sitting there. And I wasn't about to be like, yeah, by the way, I'm in the emergency room for Farley. But it was overwhelming. So then I did start crying. And then I was like, it's fine. Get it together. Did this happen before or after? Oh, this was after. This was all day yesterday. So I finished the interview. I had been on the couch for 15 minutes. And then I got the call from Will and immediately went to the ER that he was at. And then it was, by the time we got Farley home, it was like 6:30. So